Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, there's probably something you're wondering a lot about when it comes to the game Ark Knights Endfield, right? There's a bit of context I should provide here, though. In global, this game is getting a very negative reception. A lot of people are not very happy with the release. All you need to do is take a look at statistics, places like the Play Store, and of course, Reddit, social media, YouTube. It's very clear that the greed of these developers and the lack of pretty much any free-to-play resources early on in the game is leading to a lot of people to, well, rate it poorly and not really play it that much at all. Because you need to do a lot to get very little in this game. That's why there are so many posts talking about how the pull income might actually be horrendous. Insane number of upvotes over here. Why are we suddenly okay with pulls that expire with the current banner? This is the rebate store for your 4-star units. The only way you can rebate your 4-star units for pulls, they're extra dupes, right? They're extra copies, is on expiring pulls. These only last the duration of the banner. These launch banners are 17 days long, and so your only way to rebate 4-star units, the ones you get the most of in this game, by the way, is on expiring pulls. So there's a FOMO measure here as well. And then, of course, the fact that the weekly mode only gives 100 arsenal tickets, when you need 200 to make a pull, it's not really even a source of pulls at all, even though the devs advertise it as one. And then, of course, the fact that you need 60,000 crystals to guarantee 1 unit in this game. And everyone at this point has realized, wow, it takes a long fucking time to get those. Because I'm at the point, right, where I've played this game a lot. I'm level 31, right? And you look at my resources over here, I don't have anything. I've been playing the game for over like 20 hours at this point since its release. I don't have anything. I have like 50 pulls right now, and there's pretty much no way, unless I play this game like a job, to get the pulls ready for Leviathan's release. In CBT1, the weekly mode gave 5,000. Oh, is that true? In CBT1, this weekly mode over here gave 5,000 arsenal tickets? And so they nerfed it from 5,000 to 100? If true, that's crazy. But 100 is what we have in release, so hey, if Hypergriff did that, that's just another thing that they did. You can see over here, this is easily one of the most mismanaged games in the history of gacha. There are so many people that are so pissed off, and the fact of the matter is that all you kind of really need to do, guys, you can check out the reviews yourself. Look at the number of 1-star ratings on here and the number of people that just are finding these reviews helpful. Because the gacha system, 772 likes, by the way, talking about the lack of pity carryover. A lot of people are very upset by this. And this is just on the Google Play Store, right? And this is just in EN on North America. You can see over here a lot of people not very happy with the greed of the developers. And so, there was a thought. What if we could get some of the best reviews ever from CN that are highly upvoted and are taking the general thoughts of the player base and condense them all into one review? Well, somebody else actually had that thought for me, because they went ahead and they were able to look at the most popular comments on Bilibili, do an observation of the entire situation, and actually create us a bit of a write-up. And so, this is what awaits us in this document. They've got a summary of how CN feels, its advertising efforts, all of that. I've actually verified and proofread some of this in advance just to make sure that the guy knows what he's talking about, and it's safe to say that he does. So let's go ahead, let's break this all down together and dive into how CN feels about Ark Knights Endfield. Endfield's status in China. The game has a pretty big PR push. The developer has a lot of big streamers, and the game is promoted on the platform by pretty much everybody that plays games. Sounds a lot like how Endfield is getting pushed in the US. You see every single streamer across every single game playing it, and almost everybody except for myself and a couple other CCs are literally on payroll to advertise the game. And it looks like that exact same thing is happening in CN. And the craziest thing they've done is apparently get the purebred Genshin Impact streamers that haven't streamed content from other games, and Hypergriff, Griffline, Endfield paid them so much to be able to get them out of their Hoyo-specific partnerships. And they've got the statistics here, the numbers. By comparison, Wuwa didn't even have 1/10 of Endfield's numbers on release. And just so you know, on our side in the US, Sea Dog VA, Ludwig, those are the types of guys that were playing Endfield. Kinda sounds like what's going on in CN, isn't it? It makes sense that they're using similar approaches in both regions. A huge number of money has also been invested in advertising. While typing in QQ, triggers are activated. That's a video platform. And Thunder Video's pop-up ads. So basically, advertising is everywhere. And I have basically proof that advertising is everywhere because my videos, where I'll have titles like this, guys, the Endfield devs lied, all of this. I think all I need to do is look up, let me actually do that. All I need to do is look up the word ad in my community, and you will see the number of people claiming that Endfield ads were played on the video. Some people might think I'm lying over here. Some people might think I'm not telling the truth. I'm just telling you, this is what people are saying. I just look up ad. Watching this while getting an ad trying to make me install and play the game. Guys, these are all my viewers telling you they got ads on their Endfield videos. On my Endfield videos talking shit about the game. These are all the people saying they got the ads. That's the level of marketing Hypergriff is doing. Literally people critiquing the game and shitting on it they're pushing forward Endfield ads because they're trying to market that desperately. That's the factual proof it's happening on this end. So this is what I meant by I verified and proofread this post. Some people might be saying, oh, it's like fake. I think it's real because it's literally happening here. So why wouldn't it happen in CN? And information like this, who's streaming the game, that's really easy to verify too. You wouldn't lie about who is streaming the title. Like, you would just look at their equivalent of Twitch and you'd see it all immediately. The game has surpassed QQ Music in the charts, meaning its advertising is simply outrageously huge. A lot of people are downloading it and playing it. The takeover here, right, is that there's a shit ton of advertising. We can confirm that happened in both regions. And the game is perfectly optimized for all devices, has no major issues or scandals aside from the PayPal thing, which I'm surprised is not mentioned here, and the release character is female. Basically, what I think they're trying to say is that all the stars should be lining up for a fantastic release. But then they're saying, but still, everything is very weak, both in terms of revenue and chart position. Essentially, this is niche gameplay for fans of the first game and that kind of gameplay, so the low revenue is normal. And basically what they're talking about over here is the fact that, well, when you look at the actual projections, a game with this much advertising, right, showing up like this, for example, this is Teamfight Tactics. That is Teamfight Tactics. The mobile version of it was ranked higher than this game on release. A like gacha title versus like a mobile, like, this is TFT, bro. And TFT's in like the middle of its set. There's nothing like exciting that just came out. And that was grossing more than this game on release. I know TFT's big, but it's kind of just a matter of like PUBG is above it, whatever the fuck this is above it. I think people just kind of expected a game that was, again, guys, Endfield has the biggest sponsored marketing push we've ever seen in gacha history. I don't think there's ever been a developer that's spent this much money to get people to play their game. I legitimately don't think that there's been that much budget before. And so people are expecting a game that spent this much to do better. And the real issue is, guys, when you look at like other regions, KR, it's at 10. You want to know where this game was in the United States? Bro, it ranked 69. Pokemon Go was doing better. Nobody plays this game in global. Literally 69. That's kind of like what the reception is, despite the insane amount of marketing. And of course, they're saying, oh, it's because the gameplay's a bit niche. However, I think there are more reasons beyond the niche gameplay for why people are deciding not to spend on it. The game is mostly criticized for its greedy rewards at the start. Verified by every single post you see critiquing this game in the EN community. Verified. Yes, that is a fact. I don't think we can even argue right now at all at any point with this many posts, this many public statements, and of course, this many negative reviews about the game because of the greed of the gacha system. The gacha system is an absolute fucking disaster, right? So I think that's very fair. It has confusing banners designed to squeeze more money out of players. Yep. Tying expiring pulls to your rebate on the most commonly received type of operator. Yeah. And when the goal is obviously they know people won't get to the 120 in time, so they try to pressure people into buying them so the tickets don't go to waste. Yeah. That is what's going on over here. Confusing banners designed to squeeze money out of people. And the dull drudgery of combat, which involves going to another factory after working at one factory. And yeah, the factory is a big reason for why people quit the game, because if you don't know what you're doing, you can literally waste hours on it and have no progression at all. Like, you gotta figure it out. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time, and it's really bad. And if you can't figure it out, well, great. Hope you got some blueprints. Otherwise, you're not interacting with those mechanics. That's some of the takes that they've had. And so the takes are naturally formulated from some of the comments that they read. And this is where I'm really going to get into what I'm excited about. I am excited to look at these comments. Let's see it. I completed the prologue and saw only 20 pulls for the standard banner in my mail. I deleted it. There are plenty of construction games out there, so why play this half-baked product? For those accustomed to construction games, the Endfield factories are child's play. And for those who don't like Torment, it doesn't satisfy either. So they should have gone either more into it or just not really had it as up front. The game, which earns money through spins, is entirely focused on building. Building and knocking out characters are completely unrelated. The character development is weak, and there's no real incentive to knock them out. So by knock them out, he means pull. And so basically, they're saying, since most of the game is centered around the factory, and your units do nothing, don't interact with the factory like at all, then you have no reason to pull units. That's what they're saying here. I've been playing for 2 days now, and I don't even want to discuss the plot, but I really want to comment on the character models. The characters' faces and hair are quite detailed, but the body movements in the game look very wooden, creating a plastically feel. Perlica is simply terribly designed. In the game, she looks like she's pregnant. You know what? I see it. You know what? I see it. She is kind of wearing like a maternity dress. Nah, he's spitting. Wait. Wait. Bro, he ruined the fucking game. Actually true. The game already has a high entry threshold, and it's also so greedy. They say you're the boss, but in reality, they're using you like a laborer. When you're pulling wires like an ox or horse, a bunch of coworkers are standing around chatting and supervising. Actually true. That is anyone who's played the game will tell you that's an accurate representation of the gameplay. That's a fact. That's true. Wuwa's first limited edition had a male character, and there were a lot of scandals. Endfield got by without all of these mistakes, but the launch is still on the level of Wuwa. How so? Bro, I'm not gonna lie. These guys are getting fucking dragged out here, bro. I'm gonna be honest. The Endfield is getting dragged out here. This result can be called unworthy of PR, but worthy of quality. Couldn't agree more. My take on Endfield is that this is a good game ruined by greed. A good game ruined by greed, but it can still be saved. It can still be salvaged. But the thing is, how quickly will the devs respond? How quickly will the devs salvage it? Will they salvage it? And the thing is, there might still be some hope, because as you can see here, these guys have put out a second survey already. They had one on the 22nd, and on the 24th, they sent out a second one. This is how you know they fucked up. In what universe do you get 2 surveys, one at the launch of the game and a second one 2 days afterwards, unless the devs know they fucked something up? And this is why a response like this is so good. This is why you need to be vocal as a player. And this is why you need to support the CCs who are actually on your side. Guys, this is a fact. It's going to be unfortunate, but it's a fact. Any CC who isn't calling this stuff out, who isn't talking about those Reddit posts, who isn't talking about all of these issues, if a CC isn't making videos about this, this is the thing. They're not on your side. It is what it is. And the thing is, guys, some people are choosing the bag over their community and their audience. And that's fine. They literally got bought. It's fine. It is what it is. I'm not going to go out here and, like, you know, pretend that people are awful for deciding to put food on the table. But the realization should be that, A, because that prioritization is occurring, the bag is what's getting pursued over here. Well, you got to realize your platform can be used to make the game better. But that involves oftentimes critiquing it. And this is the thing. Endfield may never throw me a sponsorship. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they decided to do. Because I am the one CC that's decided to hold them accountable for literally everything. And in my genuine honesty, I do believe that what I'm doing by making all of these videos, exposing all of these different situations, talking about how greedy this fucking dev team is, hopefully that can lead to some meaningful change. Because there's nobody else in the community that's willing to actually talk about any of this stuff. And so you might be wondering, Saint, why are you pumping out 3 Endfield bad videos a day? Because there's a lot going wrong in this fucking game, and it keeps literally getting worse every day. And I feel like I need to make the videos that other people aren't making. That's why I pump out 3 Endfield bad videos a fucking day, man. Because no one else is making those videos. And there's so many issues to talk about. My channel might be the first time you ever see any of these pages. And these are massive, genuine, real fucking issues with the fucking game. But nobody else is talking about them. Nobody. They've all been gagged and silenced. It is what it is. The game's quality is obvious, but I don't want to talk about the rewards. I endured several hours. Now I'm only watching a dozen spins. My eyes are dizzy. I got really lucky with banners, but even with that luck, I deleted. Work is exhausting enough, and this game is like a second job. But don't you love how rat grifting hyperfuck CCs like Mr. Pokey are just openly saying information like this? CN confirms Enfield's launch to have at least 120 limited pulls for free-to-play. This was achieved in 2 days, using a complete free-to-play account in the overworld. Yeah, this person also played the game for 24 hours in a row and had 100+ hours of beta test knowledge to speedrun all the content in the game, skip all the story, and play in a way that nobody ever actually fucking would. This is like somebody speedrunning Elden Ring on release because they were on the dev team for the game, and then are like, oh, yeah, clearly the progression in this game is too slow. Yeah, no, clearly progression in this game is too fast. This guy got it done in 5 hours. No, bitch, most people are going to take triple the amount of time that this motherfucker took to get this many pulls. But hey, let's talk about it, Pokey. Let's talk about these facts. Let's lie by omission. And the craziest thing, guys, this guy doesn't even have a contract. He's just lying to you for free. He's doing what companies have to pay people for. Actively lie and be dishonest about the game. He's doing it for free. At least other people are getting the bag for it. He's trying to get the bag. Anyways, I remember that on Wuwa's launch day, there were almost no well-known streamers playing the story. But here, there are streamers all over the place. Again, more commentary about how, like, specific CC, like, they went crazy for the marketing push. Even with the 10 extra spins, a free player won't be able to reach the guaranteed bonus. Well, just play for 27 hours and have hundreds of hours of bait of knowledge to know how to speedrun the game, and you'll be fine, bro, for Leviathan's banner. Don't worry about it. Who doesn't want to sit down after a day of work and get exhausted, farm for 3 hours, collect 10 spins, and knock out a cute furry? And again, by knockout, they mean pull-on banner. This is the first game at launch where I wasn't blinded by screenshots of donations. So nobody else likes the game, unfortunately, so sucks for you, man. I got blinded by It seems it wasn't worth investing so much into the advertising. The income doesn't really match the PR. I think the advertising for this game is actually going to have a negative effect on it. I think all this does is expose to the entire fucking world how greedy these fucking rat developers are. And I think the intense amount of advertising that they did get everybody to play this game, but then it's the worst free-to-play experience in the fucking space. I think all it's done is actually damage the Hypergriff brand. Genuinely. It just, you look like the greediest fucking, like, not worth it. With this launch, I'm not playing another Hypergriff game ever again. This launch is going to guarantee many people never play a Griffline game ever again. What's the fucking point when they nickel and dime you and give you this bad of an experience if you don't pay? Guys, Most people, when they approach these games, they decide after a couple days whether or not they'll pay. The most they'll do is get the monthly pass on day one, but then decide whether or not they're going to pay more later on. With the way these devs have been this stingy about everything, I doubt there are a lot of people that want to pay anymore, even if they have the monthly already. Because good golly gee, seeing people this greedy, nickel and diming you for everything, and they even went so far as to ban Gmail because re-rolling was too easy. But then they probably got awful fucking reviews and got fucked by Google because how dare you ban Gmail on your platform when your app is on the Play Store? I'm just wondering, how retarded do you have to be to do this? Your app is hosted on the Play Store, which is run by Google, and you guys are so greedy, you need every little bit. You need to make it as hard as possible for those dirty free-to-plays to reroll. Gotta ban Gmail because salting is too easy. I bet Google told these guys they're fucking stupid, and that if they don't fix it, they're taking the game off the App Store. That's what I bet. I bet Google just told them that, and that's why Gmail has been restored within 24 hours. Within this happening, Gmail got restored within 24 hours. Yeah, it never ends with these guys. The most mismanaged game I've ever seen, ever. The most. Pretty generous. 5 hours, only 1 tenner on the limited banner. Victory. Wuwa had roughly the same results at launch. Later, Kuro added rewards and sped up the second banner. I don't believe Endfield will be satisfied with this result and do nothing. If he's satisfied and doesn't give out any spins, I have nothing to say. Everyone is saying this launch is a disaster. But hey, guys, let's hear from the king hyper grifter ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear from what it looks like when a CC is just actively lying every single step of the way. Remember, guys, the game's a 3.4. The game has that crazy feedback on CN. The game has that low revenue for the amount of PR it has. I don't think I've had a better 1.0 experience than this. Literally every single avenue in the space is telling you this is one of the worst releases in gacha history. But people that will lie to you for the bag are gonna say this. And this is what dishonesty has done, guys. This is the most bought out game I've ever seen. And the thing is that I'm very happy to take on all of this farming on my own. I'm very happy to take on all of the views, all of the clout and stuff on my own. But to me, it's just distressing and honestly a bit depressing to realize that the future of this space is going to be, is this what it's going to be like every time? Is this just what it's going to be like every time for every release? We'll just have an entire sect of CCs that will just openly lie about the title when all you have to do, because you're trying to appeal to an audience of players, all you have to do is just talk about what the majority of people find wrong. But instead, we've all been paid off, and we're going against literally what every single person in the community is saying. It is what it is. But guys, I said for a reason, this game, I said 3 days before this game released, during its initial launch livestream, I said this game was going to damage people's reputation. I said this game was going to damage people's reputation. Do you see now why I said that? Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.